Hello, YouTube. Not that long ago, there was a strange discovery in the Himalayas, and most of the planet does not know about it. Let me start by telling you about the very capable archaeologist who studied the artifacts. Natalia Viktorovna Polosmyak is a Russian archaeologist specializing in the study of early Metal Age Eurasian nomads, especially those known as the Pazari culture, an ancient people often glossed as Scythian, who lived in the Altai Mountains in Siberian Russia. She's best known for her discovery and analysis of the Ice Maiden mummy, which is now the focus of an ethnic political debate between Russian scientists and the Altai people living there. I will describe that discovery in another video, but today, Pir Panjal is a mountain range in the western part of the Lesser Himalayas, stretching from east-southeast to west-northwest, crossing the border of the states of Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir. The traveler can see a majestic picture, sharp ridges reaching a height of 4,000 meters above sea level, stormy streams and deep valleys overgrown with cedars, which houses are scattered, surrounded by patches of fields. This story began in the year 2013, when Polosmyak saw two stone horses with riders at the entrance to the Archaeological Museum of Srinagar, the administrative center of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. They were unlike anything that, by virtue of her profession, she had ever known or seen. All inquiries about where the sculptures came from and to whom they belonged were unsuccessful, and there was no mention of them in the scientific literature. The horses were surrounded by inexplicable silence and oblivion that did not correspond to what they represented. It seems that they have no place in the history of Indian art. All this time, Polosmyak could not stop wanting to see the places where the statues that so amazed her come from. Years go by. In June 2017, a Russian-Indian archaeological team worked in the Pir Panjal range, western part of the inner Himalayan region. Its mission was to seek and records those stone horses, enigmatic sculptures, lost in the remote mountains of the Jammu region, the state of Jammu and Kashmir, India. The expedition was organized thanks to the support of the Gerda Henkel Foundation. The discovery of these monuments may open a new page in the history of northwestern India. Residents of the Ramban district have known all along that the Pir Panjal range holds innumerable sculptures of horses and riders in most unlikely places, but nobody has an idea where they were made, when they were made. One such place, located in the vicinity of the village of Gul, was turned into a kind of an open-air museum. Some sculptures and flagstones were brought from the adjacent fields. A lot of statues are broken. Their fragments make part of alleys and walling around houses and fields. You can also find them in streams where they are used for washing. The local population, who are Muslims, does not know anything about their origin. For most of the locals, the statues are alien and obscure. Those who have shown some interest in them consider them to be traffic signs for the caravans that used to cross this area in the time of the Mahabharata. This, however, is way off the mark for the Russian archaeologist. The most original of these monuments, ruined by time and people, are rock-hewn depictions of horses bearing 2, 3, or even 4 riders. This extraordinary and unrealistic way of collective travel suggests that these are mythological characters, horses, heroes, ancestors heading for the faraway land that each ethnicity fences in its own way and where everyone complete their terrestrial existence. These are monuments to perished warriors. Both the horses and equestrians are depicted in much detail with carefully sculpted fittings of harness, clothes, ornaments, and arms. At the same time, we're looking at a stylized or primitive type of art. All the proportions of the human body are distorted, as well as the proportions of arms and harness. The horses' backs are covered with tasseled carpets, similarly to Oriental sofas. The look-alike horsemen sitting astride stone horses seem to be mythical, fictitious beings that have arrived from an unknown world. The details are redundant, which for all one knows may reflect the reality. Every horse deserves a separate description because though all the figurines they have seen and recorded, there are over 200 on just those two sites, look familiar and indicate to a certain canon. Each stone sculpture has its special features. Amazingly, all the riders have the same face. To convey the image of a warrior, a character that embodies the warrior host was created. All the horsemen have tabular napes, which, in the opinion of the Russian archaeologists, reflects its anthropological feature of the population, ring and occipital frontal deformation. This kind of deformation was typical of Central Asian people ethnicities in the first century Common Era. In this region, the tradition was adopted by the nomads known under the umbrella term Huns, which spread it to Europe and India. The Hephthalite rulers' coins show the same tabular napes and special shape of the skulls, which anthropologists attribute to an artificial deformity. The Himalayan riders share the same type of deformity. Their most typical facial features, which make them look similar to the people depicted on the coins, are big straight noses of triangular shape and handlebar mustache shown in thin parallel lines. The good-sized round earrings worn by each horseman are similar to the ones we can see on the Hephthalite coins. Before us is a totally original cultural layer, which, as archaeologists see, dates back to an obscure period of Indian history connected with the invasion and the rule of the Hephtalites, 5th to 7th century Common Era, an ethnicity that was as enigmatic as powerful. We know of the three Hephthalite tribes that managed to fit in with the ecological and social environment of northern India, which ensured their prosperity. They are Rajputs, Gurjars, and Jats. The belligerent Rajputs gave rise to the just as warlike Dogra, an ethnicity still populating Jammu and the adjacent regions of Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, and northeastern Pakistan. In all likelihood, it was in these mountainous quarters that ancient burial cult and cult monuments were hidden and forgotten, and the silent stone warrior host discovered in the Pir Panjal range must be some of them. Surprisingly, modern people populating Jammu, at least to some archaeologists, look like the ancient riders. The appearance of the men, women, and children now living in the Ramban district suggests the way the people depicted in the anonymous portraits cast in stone might have looked in real life. The uncertainty only adds to the mystery of the riders, calling for further research. The mysterious horsemen of Pir Panjal remain an ancient mystery, combining scale, detail, and isolation. Studying them not only expands our knowledge of the region's history, but also reminds us of the unsolved mystery left behind by ancient cultures. That's according to Vyacheslav Molodin, Deputy Director of the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography of the Siberian branch of the Russian Academy of Sciences. He said that the expedition has been working in India for 3 years and that the year 2019 has produced fantastic results. That year, the scientists worked in a complex area of the Himalayas on the border of India and Pakistan with funding from the Institute, a grant from the Russian Science Foundation, and the Henkel Foundation in Germany. 2 ritual complexes have been discovered in that area. They are far away and high in the mountains, which are not easy to reach. The sanctuaries of about 200 stone horsemen were found, and their specificity is that sometimes not one person sits on a horse, but 2, 3, or 4 people. That is, it is the embodiment of some mysteries and myths that have yet to be read. All these sculptures are voluminous, richly decorated with carvings, according to Melodian. He noted that all the sculptures, although made in the same style, differ from each other, just like the first archaeologists on site found out. In the same place, there are water sources and stone structures associated with these figures. It seems that everything has been known in India for a long time, but in fact, these things have been found for the first time. There are no publications about this, and this is the first time the scientific community has learned about it. The discovery again shows that not everything is still known to us on the planet. There are absolutely unusual places that have yet to be explored, according to the Russian scientist. Melodian said that according to the head of the expedition, Natalia Polosmyak, the sculptures belong to the era of the early Middle Ages, that is, beginning of our era. This is indicated by the decoration of the horses and other details. But what kind of population it is, it's a big problem, because nothing like this has been found in iconography in India before. This is some kind of population that suddenly appeared in the Himalayas, settled in hard-to-reach areas, and left such a trace, the expert noted. Where did they come from? Who were they? We don't have answers. Maybe we will never know. But look at the noses of those figurines and think about other cultures that have been discovered in other parts of the world with similar features. Think about it. I'm sure you'll come up with the answer. Now, I want to thank you for your attention to my work, and if you can support my research, please do so in the links you will find in description to this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please make sure you get notified when new videos are out, and please tell others about my work.